All right, welcome in Bronco Nation. This is Chris V with another edition of Blue Turf Talk with Chris V. I apologize for the lighting; it almost makes me look angelic. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll work with it. I'm excited today to have an interview. We do a lot of interviews. I do interviews in the Blameyer with current players, and then I also do interviews with recruits. But I also love to do interviews with former players. And today I'm really excited to be to bring on a former player who, honestly, he's not all that far away from being a Bronco. He was just playing in the 2023 season. I am excited to be joined today by Billy Bowens. How are you doing, Billy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate it, man. I love this.
Absolutely. Real quick before we get started, I kind of want to. This interview's kind of go split in half. At first, we're going to talk about the current team, and then we're going to dive deep into you. But first, tell everybody what you're doing these days.
Yeah, so just spending time training, just recovering, working out, trying to see if we can get another opportunity to play. Because for those of you who don't know the story, last year at Pro Day 2024, I pretty much tore my patellar tendon on my final route of Routes on Air, which is the final segment on the last route. So that's pretty much an 8 to 9 to 12-month recovery, and spent that time after my surgery recovering, training, rehabbing, getting right. And then I was able to actually perform and do some routes and stuff at this year's Pro Day, this most recent one that passed, which was awesome. So, I mean, just steady, staying ready, preparing to see ways that we can get an invite to a camp or any teams sort of this or that and see what happens from there.
And that is super exciting to hear. I'm glad to hear that you are back healthy, and we'll get more into that here in a minute. Bronco fans are pretty excited to get their opportunity to be back in the stands this weekend with the spring game. I've been to practice the last couple of days, and this wide receiver crew in particular has some injuries, unfortunately. A guy Latrell Caples is currently being held out, whether that be due to injury or as Matt Miller, I like how he used words the other day, he's got some – you don't need to wear that tread on his tires kind of thing. And then you got Chris Marshall, who is injured, had a soft tissue injury. You're still fairly close with this team, and – when you look at that wide receiver crew, what do you see, and how high is this potential? Fans are worried. Can you kind of put us at ease?
Yeah, of course. What I can say is, it's not always going to look pretty, and especially in the spring, right? We don't need to win any games in the spring. So what I can say is take a deep breath. We have a lot of time, and I'm not trying to – but I remember back when we were playing our final year and even previous years, we had about 4 healthy guys in the spring. I wasn't able to do some spring ball because I had surgery. Some other guys that had certain things. We're not pressing to win the spring, So that's the first thing. We don't see a lot of bodies out there. It's probably smarter on the coaching staff to allow them to get their bodies back, kind of rest them rather than try and rinse them in the spring. So that's one thing. But I mean, just personally knowing these guys, knowing how we pretty much raised those guys and bred those guys to be, and how they are, I mean, how much they've grown, seeing their potential, just talking to them, watching them these last couple of years, they'll be ready when the time comes. And, I know the staff, they'll have guys ready, and that's the biggest thing. So,
and I want to talk about a couple of guys that you played right alongside with. We'll start with Latrell Caples, a guy who is in his 6th year, had a good season last season, has dealt with injuries on and off in his career. What's his potential? What's his ceiling as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, that guy, he's just a pure competitor. And you love to see that. Someone who knows, I mean, he's been around. Him and Miller have a really great understanding for each other because they've been with each other for a while. This offense, this playbook, this system, each other's style. I mean, they have a really good connection, and that's important. For a coach to be able to bring the best out of your players and know what he needs, and a player to know how your coaches and what to do to be successful. So that alone, with a lot of these guys that have been here for a while with Matt Miller, I know he's going to have them prepped. I know he's going to have them ready. Just alone their athletic abilities, there's all talented guys, all super talented, all have the ability to make a play in an instant and break a play and break away for a big explosive. I mean, I'm excited to see what these guys go accomplish this year. Obviously with the loss of Ashton Genty, that opens up a lot of opportunity, and they're going to have to maximize it. So it's just going to be out there for the taking. There's a lot of really good guys and returning guys on this offense, and they play together as a core, so that's going to be really good. And I mean, having your quarterback come back, knowing his timing, your timing, their chemistry, that's going to be really good for this Boise State offense.
And I wanted to toss out another name to get your thoughts on him, Austin Bolt. Feels like Austin Bolt has been here forever. What is his ceiling? He seems like one of those guys that's just kind of scary, sneaky athletic. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, I mean, Austin Bolt, they don't just give the Gatorade players to no one. And I mean, I see that he earned it. I mean, just playing with that guy, we'd go do this, and don't tell our coaches because they're not big fans of this, but we'd go play basketball and do some other athletic stuff here and there. And, I'd always want to pick him on my team because he's just so awesome. He's so athletic, and all the guys would be looking. I remember back when Octavius Evans and C.T. Thomas and all our older guys, John Hightower and Shakir and all of us, we'd go hoop together, and we'd be looking like, dude, Bolt's giving us the work, like he has his ability to know how the ball's going to be, where it's going to go. Once that translates, and you can see it in instances here and there, but once that fully converts over to football, which I think this year is going to click, and he can't be stopped. We've seen him do things at practice, at scrimmages, a lot of things behind the scenes that the public eye doesn't get to see, and he's made some plays that I'm like, that's unbelievable, bro. Like, I remember we had I was on this side of the field, and he was on this side, and I was the deeper crosser, and he was the under crosser, and the quarterback, I believe it was Talon, threw it to me. And Bolt, it wasn't supposed to be able to touch this ball. He jumped up the highest I'd ever seen in my life and took it out the air, took my pass and caught it and scored. And I was like, yo, what just happened? Like, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. So he's got the abilities. He's super sneaky fast. I mean, I just love everything about the guy. He's got the gadgets, the tools. So we'd love to see it come out this year.
And, we have several young wide receivers that are going to join the team in fall, and we're excited to see them. But from your perspective, having played the game at this level, how hard is it for a wide receiver to come in as a true freshman and play immediately?
Well, it's just levels to it, right? And I say that all the time. Like, it's not that they don't really have the physical capabilities to play, like that's going to be there. It's just more of learning that mental aspect of playing in front of these big stages, right? Playing in these high intense moments. You come to Boise State, you're going to be put in really intense moments, high pressure moments that, you probably weren't facing in high school. You're going to be faced with a lot of different things, adjustments. There's different parts now and progressions into the play rather than in high school. It's just, hey, go run a hitch, go run a slant, go run bit. You're better than everyone else. Just go deep, go by them, and it's just, there's levels to it in a way that you have to be mentally ready for them because I know this coaching staff is not going to throw anyone into the fire, as our saying. Like, we're not going to put you in a position to be unsuccessful. They're going to make sure you're ready and comfortable and able to attack at all assets. So.
And we're excited to see those young men come in and try it and compete. Throwing it over to the quarterback situation, you got Maddox Matson, and you spent most of Maddox Matson's career right next to him. Absolutely. What have you seen? Where the last season did you see him progress the most, and where do you think he can take the biggest step going into this season? Yeah,
I mean, I feel like, just personally speaking, having declare a quarterback one. Right. I mean, I know the previous years it was always, was it Talon? Was it Maddox? Was it this? Was it that? They're switching drives. It's hard for anyone to get chemistry, for anyone to have confidence in that situation. And I think the coaching staff, by declaring that, having him be the guy, even as an individual, he can feel that and take control, right? And start feeling that, taking those next steps and having it be his offense. And then you can even mold the game to him. It's him and Talon's style of play are kind of different, they're kind of different body types, play styles. So it's hard to kind of game plan when you have two totally different guys and just kind of plug them in there, here and there. So the fact that we can kind of spend this time molding the offense for him and, making it to where you're playing to his strengths, and then he even feels more confident. I mean, just seeing him go through his progressions, just seeing him sling the ball around. I mean, hanging in the pocket, running now. He's getting – Maddox is a little mobile guy. If people don't understand that, he can get around here and there. So, just seeing him just do those things, I'm super excited, and I love it. I mean, I love all the success he's having. He threw for me both pro days, and obviously played together at my final season. So he's just so brilliant. He knows the offense. He has a great understanding for the game. I mean, he spins the ball very well. There's just a lot of good things you want in your quarterback. So I'm excited for him.
And you actually hit on something. I wasn't going to bring it up, but you mentioned he really can spin the ball very well.
Oh, yeah.
And why I have you, he has the ability to throw that deep pass. There's a lot of people that are concerned about that. Talked about that for just a second. Maddox Madsen can throw the deep ball.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, I mean, even just his confidence, his training, his preparation, he's always dialed. Like I said, once again, those behind the scenes moments, I've seen him make some passes that I'm like impressed, like and I know he's done even more since I've been there in this last year. So it's like, I mean, he can put it where it needs to be. His accuracy, his understanding, like I said, for the ball, his feel. I'm impressed, and I love his style. I love his game plan. Even catching as a receiver, the ball coming out of his hands, I don't know. There's just a feel like when he releases it looks nice and it feels right, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, I love to hear that. I'm glad that we could address that because I hear a lot of fans saying, "Oh, he can't. He's got the arm."
He's definitely. Yes.
Anyway, one more thing about this current team, and then we're going to dive into you and your story. Okay. The spring game, and I like what you said earlier, where you're not trying to win the spring, and right. I can tell fans right now, and I'm not sure if they're going to see this before the spring game, maybe whatever. Right. The team that you see during the spring game is not going to be anywhere near the team that you see against USF. What can the spring game help do to kind of to get you into the offseason on a solid note?
Yeah, so the spring game, more oftentimes than not, is one, just a showcase for the fans that have a little fun. But in terms of the team, try and get some guys some reps and see how guys are going to play, more the younger guys. It's not really for your team, your starters, your returners, your vets that are going to be balling out, that are going to – they go out there, they do what they got to do. Yeah, we'll play just to knock a little rust off, sure. But we're trying to evaluate these younger guys, some of these transfers, let them to get – full speed reps at our playbook, some of these adjustments, some of these different things we have going on, let them get a feel for the game, some of these guys to build a little bit of chemistry together. And it's really vanilla, right? We're not really trying to show too much because there's a lot of eyes that are going to be watching this. You don't want to give away too much of your scheme to give USF or any other teams an advantage and say, hey, we saw that. We did this. Notice how we came out against Georgia Southern last year, and they were bamboozled by what we had going on. And Ashton was able to put up 6 touchdowns against them. Well, if we would have showed all that in the spring game, they would have been able to prep better, and that maybe would not have happened. And for other teams, like it took a while for teams to catch on. And, that's kind of the plan. That's the goal, right? So it's a little bit of chess. You're not trying to do too much. It's really for us in-house to kind of see, okay, these younger guys, he can kind of go, okay, we need to work on this, right? That got exposed. We need to clean that up. We need to find ways to work on ourselves rather than try and go all in and win the game and show everything and look great and then have more problems in the fall.
I think that's a great – you nailed it. That's perfect. I hope fans come in and just enjoy being there. You don't expect a huge touchdown pass or anything really all that pretty if we're being real honest, because like you said, it's going to be a lot of young players that need to just get some time. All right, so you mentioned it at the beginning of the interview, and I wanted to bring it back up, and hopefully it's not a sore subject, but you had a pretty bad injury on the last route of Pro Day. Yep. Before that, give us a preview of what your Pro Day had looked like. Had you ran the 40? Give us a time. Give us a whole review of that.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I did the entire day. I didn't opt out of anything. That's just our blue-collar way. I mean, especially the way I was raised and coming in, I was a guy that didn't have as much film and footage as a lot of these other players, but I knew I had the abilities and the potential, right? So I wanted to display that in every single way. So, I mean, right out the gate, bench press, did 16 reps, okay? So it's good for a receiver. A lot of receivers are opting out, not doing it. I was like, I want to do it. And then I went over to the vert, jumped, I feel like a 41-inch vert, but they made me jump 4 times. So then my final one that they tallied was a 39.5. So still almost up there, but I mean, I jumped 4 times. My first one I was like 41. They probably were like, wait, let's have them do it again. So but no, jumped 40-inch vert. That was awesome. Went in there, jumped an 11-foot broad jump. So that was great. Went in
Mm-hmm.
there, ran the 40, ran a 4.46. That was my official timing after they got those done. And then I ran my 5.10.5. That was a 7.3, and then my 3 cone, which was a 6.9. So that was my day. And then we ran the routes, caught every pass, even the pass where I messed up my knee. I mean, we're at the point where I'm telling Maddox, I'm like, hey, let's just get through the day. We've had a long, great day. My agent's telling me, hey, we got interviews. Like, teams want to talk to you. They're very interested. You've been having a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wrap this up and let's do it. I'm like, let's do it. So of course you start small routes to deep routes. That's just anytime you're doing routes on there, that's kind of how it goes. So I ran my short routes. I'm feeling good. Now we're on the final route. It's a deep route, okay? So it's all right. It's a route I've run 1,000 times in my life. Hey, let's just connect. Let's get out of here. Okay, great. Say hi. Boom. I take off. Boom. Show him my speed. He throws it. It's a bit of a ball I have to adjust to, but nothing crazy. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
kind of torquing my body kind of weirdly. I caught it, fell, rolled into the end zone. Everyone's screaming, yeah, let's go. And I'm on the ground, and I look at my knee, and I can't really get up. So then, I'm like, this isn't good. And the sight that I saw in that moment, I mean, my heart dropped. My patella was completely dislocated. I had ruptured my tendon. I was just like, this can't be good. So the trainers rush over there. They put me in a brace. They load me on the car, and they just take me automatically into our little handy dandy emergency room right there on campus. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is bad. So we were hoping that it was just a dislocation, right? Because if that was what it was, only 6 weeks to 8 weeks maybe, and we're back in action. But then of course I went and got MRI'd and got X-rayed, and they're like, well, we got some bad news. You tore your patellar tendon, and that's going to cost you at least 10 to 12 before you're playing football. So long story short, you won't be playing football anywhere this year. You'll be recovering. And the worst part about all of that, it was just the fact that you're not on a team anywhere. You had just graduated, and then you also didn't get picked up yet. So I mean, I had teams reaching out to me on draft day. They were like, hey, what's your status? What's going on? Like, how are you feeling? And they're like, just contacting me. And I was like, I had to break them the news. And they're like, oh, they're like, well, man, you were having a blast. You're on a lot of teams' boards and radars. I mean, like, hopefully things get well. If you want to pursue it, pursue it. And that's kind of what kind of kept me on the route. They were like, because we'd love to see you out there, man. And everyone loves the recovery and the full story of, a comeback story for an athlete. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what happened. And then was able to do that and come back and did it. So now we're just see what happens. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and timing is the biggest thing sometimes. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if it's meant to be and I get picked up, we're gonna go ball and give it everything I got. And if not, then we'll move on and see what's next in life. So it's kind of where I'm at right now.
And we're really all hoping for you and praying for you and that you get that opportunity during this last pro day. Did you talk to any teams in particular?
Not really in particular. They were just like all of them were excited that I was back. I it wasn't more on like a major, hey, we're like interested level, but it was like, Billy, welcome back, man. You made it. You're doing it. Like every single guy in there, he's back. Good. What's up? Good to see you. And man, it's awesome. They are like, man, we love that because you were doing such a great day. You seem like a great kid. We love, we're hearing good things. We'll talk to your agent for sure. So it's like kind of things like that. And we'll see what's going on, what we need, necessities, and this and that. You know how it goes in the off season.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it was like more love, and that felt awesome. They were like, "Hey, man, it's great to see you out there. You look good," and it was just like kind of those things. So
And just to clarify, technically you can't be drafted. We talked
right.
about that, so that's you're not necessarily hanging on that edge there. But tell us why. Just a quick little audition for an NFL team kind of
Yeah.
interview. Why should an NFL team sign Billy Bowens?
I would just say, just through my quick, most previous story alone, I'm a guy that's gonna be relentless. I know how to fight. I'm excited to come and help a team in any way I can, whether it's blocking, whether it's special teams, whether it's running, catching touchdowns, whatever the scheme is. I'm ready. I'm versatile. I'm an athlete, as you can see. I mean, it's just those things like you're going to get a guy that is going to come in and help that culture and boost that morale. And we're going to get the team going. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to come compete and showcase and help literally any team I can go to. So, I mean, I know I'd be an asset. I know I'd be a great addition just because of my work ethic, my mentality. I mean, I feel like there's more, you know. I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's more that I didn't get to display, and I'd love to be able to do that. So I'm excited. I'm eager, and I just would love to get out there and try and help a team as any way we can.
And I agree. I don't think your story's over here, not by a long shot. But going back to your Boise State career, just real quick, give me one of your favorite moments as a Bronco.
Favorite moment. You know, I had quite a bunch, and you know, I'm just gonna have to say my most memorable moment would have to be, and I know it sounds cliche, but our game at Allegiant Stadium, that UNLV game, that my final year in that championship game. And the reason why it's so significant is because my sister is like, we're Irish twins, so we're 9 months apart.
Oh, okay.
She goes to UNLV. So our whole family had a reunion, and that game was like a reunion game for all of us. And it was fun because you got to see which family members were like more her side because they show up in UNLV gear, and then which ones are more like that love me more, you could say. But it was split, and it was funny because like I see my aunt and uncle like wearing UNLV, and I'm like, what the? And then I see my grandma, she's got like Boise, or you know, my other family members got Boise. I'm like, yeah. So it was awesome, and that was literally my best game I had that year. And it was just so fun, you know. I mean, it was all love. My brothers were there, everybody was there, and you know, and us end up take that ring, especially the way that year went. It just showed, you know, that relentless fight in all of us to never quit, that grit, to never give up. Us seniors had to carry a lot on our backs, and we wanted that, and we loved it, and it was just one of the most memorable years, and that was the most memorable game, without a doubt, in my life. So it was just awesome. Just hoisting that trophy, showing all the family members, it was great.
Well, you certainly always have bragging rights over on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it truly split 50-50 on the gear, or were you more like 60?
I got to give it about like 65-35, you know. They were showing me a lot of love, but, you know, some of them were, oh, damn, we love her. We want to show her love. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, no, but it was fun. It was all love.
Very good. And will you be at the spring game this Saturday?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'll be stopping by, checking out the boys, and see how that all goes. You know, it's always fun to see some balls, see some little collisions here and there. So, yeah, it'll be fun. Now I see all the renovating they're doing with the stadium, so I'll be curious to see how that's going. I'm excited when that gets finished up and everything. Then now I can join the players of coming by and saying, this wasn't here when I played, so you guys are lucky we helped build this, you know, because trust me, Matt Miller, every day in meeting rooms, he'd be giving it to us. You guys are lucky. All this wasn't here when I played. I loved it. We laughed, and now I get it. I totally understand. So that'll be fun.
I remember when the Stucco Skybox wasn't there, so I can really go way back.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Billy. Yeah. Billy, I appreciate you coming on today. It's been a lot of fun talking to you. I'd love to talk to you again sometime. And as I always close out, go Broncos.
Go Broncos. I appreciate your time. Thank you.